Okay. Welcome and thank you guys so much for just coming back here and being able to kind of share a little bit more about your daughter's story and kind of the process that you guys have been through. So if you don't mind just kind of sharing a little bit about V and her story and her journey thus far.
Mm.
Sure. Well, we adopted Viola in 2023, but we've had her since birth through foster care. And we had her older sister, so when she was born, she has kind of a crazy birth story, but we won't get into all that. But she she didn't have prenatal care. They think she was premature. She was born outside, so she was kind of a surprise to everyone. But we got her about 7 days out of the NICU and have had her since. But we knew, like just from her birth history and her sister, that we could see delays pretty quickly. And she received therapy starting at 3 months with physical therapy. She had some neck issues, but so we right away, you don't have that guilt. You just are like, okay, what do we need to do? Like, how can we best support her? And so she was very early on in physical therapy, occupational therapy, and food therapy. And then, yeah. So she had a helmet for a neck issue. That's where her physical therapy started. And then she had AFOs to support walking. And she had very low tone, but very like hyper. I don't know what that word is, but yeah, very tight. And she wasn't sitting up at 10 months. So she was originally diagnosed with global developmental delays, which is delays in multiple areas of development. And then about a little before she turned 3, was diagnosed with lots of things. Level 3 severe autism. She was nonverbal, so language developmental delay. She had AFRID, which is the food restrictive avoidant. Wouldn't eat anything, wouldn't eat from strangers. We would starve herself all day just until we would feed her, even as like an infant. So like only ate baby food, even like up to 3. Yeah. She would eat like the baby food pouches. We had to give her like the toddler formula. Would eat only like goldfish and other crunchy things.
Yeah, that was it.
What else was she diagnosed? Oh, and ADHD, which seems like a lesser diagnosis, but it's pretty impactful as well. Like she is like, if you meet her, she's bouncing. We always joke if you put a stepper on her foot, it'd probably be like 1 million steps a day. She's bouncing all day long. So, we first got introduced to Infinity and Dr. Josh last year. So originally when it all started, even before, she had her first intensive in April of last year, so 2024. But even before that, when we had our first conversation with Dr. Josh for, I guess, the consultation, I mean, this was in December, and immediately you could just feel hope, I guess, because if you have a child with special needs, you go from specialist to specialist to specialist to specialist. And each specialist, they do the same thing. They're like, here's the checklist. Can she do this? Can she do this? And you're like, no. And you never leave any specialist feeling better. It's
you're
always
referred
like,
to another specialist.
You're either, let's wait and see, or you're referred to another specialist. So kind of before that last intensive, or before our first intensive last April, she was having extreme behaviors. We had gone through 5 daycares in 1 year. So it was every daycare. And we're open, especially if it's someone who's supporting her or taking care of her, we're open about her story. We don't go in blindsided, these are all her things. Can you support her? Can you accommodate? And it's always yes. We're aware of autism. And then within a week, they're like,
no.
I mean, she has she would have hour and a half tantrums. Oh, she also was diagnosed with sleep disorder because she wouldn't sleep up all hours, multiple times a night, wouldn't nap efficiently, I guess. And just she couldn't calm herself down. So if you didn't physically calm her down, she would end up throwing herself at the wall, banging her head. It was just really dangerous. And I remember we went to the pediatrician. We had moved from Georgia back to New Mexico. And I was kind of I'm really nervous about her safety. Even we can't go in public. She's she's either extremely attached to us, or if she will get down, she's running out into the street. So I was do I need to get a helmet? She's banging her head. She's throwing herself physically, screaming out, I need help, but nobody knows what to do. And so, of course, the pediatrician again goes through, well, this is autism. It's just the way it is. And I can send her upstairs to psych and get her some medicine. And we're just well, can't you at least check her blood? Maybe there's something off. What? And she was no, why do you want her blood checked? All parents say that, but they don't really know what they're asking for. And I was just I was kind of mad by then because I was well, I'm not giving my 2-year-old medication if you won't at least check her blood. Yeah, which I didn't leave that day until they let us go downstairs to take blood, and it ended up coming the basic blood panel came back normal. So again, we're at square zero. No one will help her, no one. But when we had that initial, I remember I was at school and I was on my break and I called Dr. Josh and he did our little consult, and just I've never left feeling so hopeful. I mean, he had already given us a plan, even just before we came in April, I need her to eat this, this, and this. And we were kind of oh, take off gluten. That's the only thing she eats, So we were how are we going to do this? And off processed and all the things, which we were she only eats 3 things. So this seems impossible, but I've never felt so just motivated, and we found very quickly on that when we did restrict her, it seems so restrictive. And people look at us oh, this diet is so restrictive, but it really opened her up. And once we took off that gluten and all the little things, that she was eating that aren't helping her, just inflaming her more, she actually started eating more things. And food therapy, in food therapy, we were just trying to get her to engage with things, even touch food, let alone eat it. And now it was oh, she's eating kale salad and even a smoothie. She would never eat raw fruit. Now she
she has 3 apples a day.
Yeah, oranges, blueberries. She's the kid, what 3-year-old eats lentils and brown rice? Just all the amazing food that she eats.
It's been night and day.
It's totally night and day. She sleeps through, and then so we go to the intensive. It's just, your whole place is just amazing. And we finally have not just answers, but to feel we can help. There is something, because it's not just the intensive. The intensive is kind of the rocket ship, I guess, that goes off. And then, but you're leaving with a home plan. You have YouTube videos. You have people that actually respond to your emails when you ask. I think Dr. Ashley actually called me one time and I was thank you, and talked to me through some of the stuff where she would dip, we would, and then she was oh, let's adjust this, or let's do this test and try. And finally we got blood tests that had answers for us, and how we could, and it's not perfect. We've still got a long way to go, but I mean, to have a kid that sleeps through the night, every night, to have a kid who you guys diagnosed her with PANDAS, we found out. So we find out kind of now where that the attachment issues come from and OCD issues come from. So we can work on that, and now she'll walk and hold our hand, and then we can let go and she won't run in the street, and just, I guess, her eye contact and just engaging. She's, after our last intensive last April, she started putting 2 words together. That was the first time, like my turn, or I go, or me eat. You know, that was huge for
Totally
us.
had like a 5-minute video of her then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
have
so it's,
old of her like having a meltdown, like
you can have you
truly
put
to
those together,
see.
but just
Yeah.
like
Yeah. But just like I was telling Dr. Ashley and Taylor, like we went to the park, and before, when 6 months ago when we would go to the park, she would only swing. So I would purposely not go to parks with swings, because she would just hyper focus on that swing, would only swing. And the rest of the time she would hold on to me or not leave her stroller, and just kind of watch other kids experience the world and never do it. Like her sister would be running and playing, and she would just like, when are we leaving? You know? And so this week we've gone to the park every day, twice a day. And not only is she like playing, but she's playing with children. Like she's climbing. She, like, these kids are like older than her, like 5, 7, 8, and they don't care that she doesn't talk, because her nonverbal like language is so, like, she's doing everything that they're telling her to do. Like if they're playing tag, they'll say, go over there, and she'll go. Like, she's going down the slide. She's laughing appropriately. She's not just laughing like before. She would just laugh. Like, what are you laughing? You know, like, what are we laughing at? Like, I'm glad you're laughing, but like, she was laughing appropriately. She was waiting her turn. Like when we had to leave, they actually were like, bye, Viola. Like, just like, that joy. And I was trying to snap pictures without being the weird mom that's like taking pictures of other children, but just like, look, David, look,
enough.
you know.
You were the weird mom.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, you were the weird mom. It's all right.
So, I mean, I guess for us, Infinity is just like a new lease, a new life, like her ability to live, you know, like have experienced the world, understand her body, you know, like just express herself. And we're no longer in fear of like what the future is, like not trying to, like, where will she even go during the day? Like how, you know, like we've had a daycare, and I was like, well, what do special needs moms do? And they were like, oh, well, in our experience, you just stay home with them. And I'm like, well, for parents that can't stay home, what do you do? And so just to really actually know why her brain is doing the way it is, or why her actions are matching all of these things, and to be able to make small but meaningful adjustments every day. You know, you have to do it every day, and some days we're not good. We have 5 babies at home, so it's definitely not perfect. We're always striving to be better, but
she's on a path, right?
Yeah,
like
she's
going forward now. Before she was just stuck in the whole, medical here, there, where now she
and just
has,
like you could see it in her eyes. Like if you look back at pictures, like even I was looking at pictures on our travel up here to Infinity before her first intensive, like her eyes were just like not ever looking at the camera, just like she just looked stuck, and now you take her picture and she's just like
smiling. She's
glow, like she's just like, her skin is better, her eye contact is better. So I think that's kind of, she's louder, but she's meaningful. Like I know you're saying something and she'll like lead you, and she's a
smart. Yeah. She knows. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's kind of like, we're just so thankful and just like feel like, we even have confidence now. I'm getting more confidence every day to reach out to other moms and be like, you don't have to live this way. Like you can do these things at home. Like look at this, you look at Infinity on Instagram. Like I'm always sharing, like you can do that. Like they're showing, these simple videos that you guys are making are so easy for just the regular mom and dad at home to follow anywhere. Start today. Just try it today. Try it for a week, and you're gonna start to see the differences. So,
yeah, that's so awesome.
Thankful.
Yeah, you guys
truly,
are amazing,
truly thankful.
though. Like it's one thing when you're a provider and you work with these kids for a week or 2 weeks, but you guys like day in and day out have to deal with some of the things that we don't obviously get to see in the office of the times you go to the grocery store and there's a big meltdown or
Yeah.
that's
Like
so hard.
you avoid, like you just, I was telling Taylor,
Restaurants.
like you, it takes a village, but you realize real quickly with severe autism how small your village becomes
yeah.
just because, we couldn't go to a restaurant. We went to a restaurant last night and she like, just sat and like she still sits on my lap because it's kind of her comfort, but she's not facing this way. She's facing out. She's eating. She's like playing.
She was on my lap for a bit too.
Yeah,
and that was rare. Yeah, that was rare.
She'll
That
go
doesn't
to other people's
that doesn't happen often. So that was good. Yeah.
But yeah, it's night and day, and you don't really realize it until you really go back and like think like, oh my gosh, do you remember every night? Like, what are we doing?
There were some rough nights.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So you guys were here last year and now you guys are here again this year. You guys were really dedicated with exercises. You guys got a laser for home. You guys did a ton of supplementation. So where she was a year ago and to all the hard work that you guys put in now, what would you say were the biggest changes that you noticed from Infinity? Not just the intensive alone, but all the other things like the lasering, like the supplements, all that kind of came in combination as to where she is now.
I mean, if like take the time to do the testing and then adjust your supplements, because even throughout the year we've had to adjust a couple things. We're adjusting even last week we're adjusting something new. So that kind of just helped make sure your foundation is covered. And then if you don't have a laser, like get a laser, like do whatever you have to do, because that is probably the biggest support. And like even just like self, like I feel like it is help. Like I can tell if you are consistent, or if you really have a really good week where you're consistent that whole week, you can see it. Like her digestive system, when we started adding in the digestive, you can totally tell. Her appetite is wonderful. She's not constipated. I mean, this last year she's not constipated at all. Like she is like a trucker. I don't know. Massive. So it's
good
just
balance.
like, yes, sorry, that was not, but like in a good way, healthy. And so, I mean, if I can just say as like a mama, like if you are able, like do the intensive, but if you want it, like the intensive is just the starting point for them to really take off. The home plan, the videos, the laser, the supplements, that's what's gonna, make the most meaningful changes, I feel like.
I mean, they're only here for a week or two.
Yeah.
There are things like when you have a nonverbal autistic coming into the office who is headbanging, who's self-harm, tantrums, all of those things, there's only so much that you can accomplish in those small weeks. But it's having the tools and the resources to continue those things at home. And you're right. It is kind of that rocket ship, but you still need to put in work.
You have to, it's work. I mean, you have to put it in, but I mean, to really have that confidence, and it's awkward at first, like doing those exercises and her elbows popping out or her body's like flopping and you're just like, but you can go back to that video and play it over and over and over and call, you guys are always willing to give advice and help. But I mean, for parents like us to just have a stake in it, to say what we're doing is meaningful. We don't have to do what a society, like normal.
Well, and that's the
society,
thing, right? It's like, I think once people take that first step, it's like, okay, I could do it. But getting out of that, just that routine of the doctor's visit.
Yeah, like she's been in therapy since she was 3 months old. And although we've had wonderful therapists and it's helping, until we found the root of like why her brain is the way it is, and like adjusting and reducing inflammation and like setting her body up so that her brain can do it, that's what is going to make the difference.
And I know I was talking with you guys a little bit earlier about there's so much research on children with autism and how all of their neurons are almost clustered together. And instead of growing and diverging and developing, theirs are all stuck in one direction, which is typically why kids with autism are so brilliant and so smart in one section, but their brain hasn't developed in others. And that's where that laser can really help form and develop that neuroplasticity in other areas. And just having a targeted, tailored plan of having your child appropriately assessed, knowing what we need to work on, getting a neurological exam instead of just saying, do you check these boxes?
Yeah.
Yes, no. Okay, has a provider ever put their hands on the child to actually see how are they functioning? How are things working? It's so, so important that you get a good and appropriate exam on a child. And I just can't stress that enough for other families. If your provider isn't putting and checking things out, you're never going to know
and you
what's
might have your
truly
provider
going
for 5
on.
minutes and that's pretty much it.
And they don't know. Like, you could tell even with her pediatrician, she just wanted to get us out because Viola was screaming. Like, she was literally having a meltdown. Like, she, would wrap her, she was like pulling my hair. And I mean, even social media in general with autism families, like, it's so noisy out there. And they're so, like, especially, we know our feed changes, but like once your feed gets, it's like all these quick fixes and detoxes. And it's literally so overwhelming that your body almost like shuts down and you just can't do anything, right? You're just like, I don't even know what to do. Or you spend an obscene amount of money on this influencer who says that they cured their child of autism with detoxing and whatever. And yes, there might be some good things in there, but to actually have someone who is licensed and like even normal, like just ability to have a normal conversation and confident and like you said, put their hands on your child, not just a social media post that you saw that you're probably going to get your child sick, or throw up. So it's so just important and just meaningful that, okay, I can shut the noise out from all these posts daily pop up. And even other parents in my community, their kids are all different than Viola. I know exactly what Viola needs. And if we just stick to the pattern, we are like continuing to, fight the good fight, I guess.
Yeah, you're so right, though. Social media can sometimes be overwhelming in that community of, okay, is it the heavy metals? Is it mold? Is it PANDAS? There's so many things, and to just throw a stick at a wall and just hoping that it sticks,
and then it won't. It can't.
It's like
it can't stick, and then you just feel defeated, and you're just like, why is their child and my child isn't, and then you end up not trusting anybody. It's just awful. It's really just a hard place to be in. So if you can, find you guys and really, see that light on the other side of it.
The littlest thing of which I've never seen is where you can just come here in this environment, your kid can just be them.
Yeah.
You don't see that anywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
And connect with other families that are,
but just go, be yourself.
The same, and they fit here and they're not going to be asked to leave. And, the whole office is just so comfortable. It's like coming into your friend's home. It's not like a sterile, like, don't touch anything. Gosh, don't break anything.
So comfortable. You guys talk me into being in front of a microphone. I hate being in front of a microphone. So they're that good. Yes, they're that good.
We are just appreciative that you guys can just sit here and tell Viola's story and just help other families know your experience and what has or hasn't worked in your guys' journey. So yeah, thank you for putting your trust in us, because that's obviously a really big deal. Like you said, Kim, you guys having some trust issues with all the things that you see online. So it's just great to have you guys share your story. So thank you. Do you guys have anything else that you maybe want to say to other families or anything before
you covered a lot of it? You did good there.
I don't like you make a
I don't know.
You can make a difference.
So it really comes down to it's work, regardless. It's hard work. It's a journey that's going to keep going.
If you know the right, if you have a plan and you stay with it, it's huge though. Her life has hugely changed, where we never even thought she could do. Like, I mean, they didn't even think she would walk, you know. They're just like,
2 years ago we had no hope,
she has cerebral palsy, she's not going to walk, you know. She ended up not having that. I mean, but she had the AFOs. She was a very late walker. You know, she'll never talk. If she hasn't started talking already, she'll never talk. And so it's really just not listening to the norm and just moving forward and trusting, like having who you trust and know that it is making
a difference.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, really, truly. Thank you. Please, open places all over the country.
New Mexico next.
Yeah, come to New Mexico.
I know the neighborhood, right where you can.
Yeah, sure.
Walking distance to our house would be great.
Yeah.